Hello YouTube, this is Dungeon Master Bilbo coming at you with my first official video. I'm going to be talking about an adventure I ran not too long ago. It's based around a level 1 adventure. Pretty much anybody, any class is good for this adventure. It would be preferable to have clerics or paladins, like holy characters, or characters who are after magical artifacts, which is pretty much everybody. But the basis for the adventure, they need to be going to a small town who has requested help from some demonic presence that has been stirring within the town. And on the way there, you might want to give them a couple of encounters. Give them a little bit of XP, maybe get them to level 2 on the way there, or get them close to being level 2. Because some of the creatures, once you get into the town, should be a little bit stronger. You can make them weaker depending on how many players you have or how you want to do the adventure. They can be demons or devils. I just prefer to use demons for this particular encounter. But regardless of that, the main plot of this adventure, your players need to find a music box. Look like whatever you want it to look like. They can find it on one of the random encounters along the way. They could find it once they get into the city. But this adventure would be really hard, almost impossible to complete without it. When they get into the city, it's ruled by a group of adventurers and a noble who help fund their adventuring party. They're all about level 4. You can put them whatever you want, any class assortment that you would like to have them as. I put them at level 4. You can change it, whatever you like. Once they get into the city, they will notice that there's some dark clouds over the city, while the rest of the surrounding area wasn't really clouded or anything like that. If they have the music box beforehand, have it pop open and play its song, and they'll probably get a little bit freaked out by the music box randomly opening and playing the song. But after that, have them make will saves. I use DC 15 will save. You can use whatever you want, adjust it for whatever level they are, anything like that. Whoever fails, if they fail the will save, it's kind of like if you've ever played a Silent Hill game, like the Otherworld type thing. Everything kind of turns demonic looking, has like a red glare to it, and then these demons, preferably like lower level demons, and a decent amount of them, begin crawling out of the ground. I would assume that you should probably make this last for about 4 or 5 rounds. And fighting the demons. These are summoned creatures, so they wouldn't necessarily get XP for killing these demons, but these demons do real damage. And whoever isn't affected by the music box can see their companions being attacked, but don't see any other of the demons. If they try to attack where the demons are, they'll just hit air. But if the player that's under the influence of the box hits, they'll see blood splatter, just like they'll see random claw marks and bite marks appear on the player. Alright, continuing the adventure, you can put any type of demons or devils you want along here, preferably around your character's level, maybe a little bit lower. And after they meet up with the adventurers and the noble, tell them this problem's persisted for a while. Most of the people have congregated in the tavern. That's where the rulers would be. Should the players question them, they will find out the city is a couple years old, maybe like anywhere between 3-10 years old. Pretty new city. And there is not much to see here. There's a mansion where the noble lives up on a hill. There's various shops and stuff in the town, and then there's a river, and in the middle of the river there's a small island, which is really a crypt. It's a family crypt of the noble. Alright, at this time, if they're talking to everybody, you should put in a demon or devil appearing that is 3, maybe 4 levels higher than the party. Something that they can't kill. And maybe give them a few lackeys, and then after that, have them wreak a little bit of havoc. The lackeys should be around party level. After they wreak a little bit of havoc, maybe kill a couple of the adventurers, they go straight for the noble guy. The lackeys may hold the adventurers and PCs off, but the big bad demon guy, 3-4 levels higher guy, will be going straight for the noble. Alright, after the 2 or 3, however many the henchmen you want to put in, after they get killed, or after the main guy gets injured, he will teleport out of there. At this point, if the players have failed to save the noble, then the adventure gets a lot harder from here. But if they actually succeeded in fending the demons off, then this might get a little bit easier for them. The noble will urge them to go to his house, where they can go to a study and possibly secure this music box to protect others and find out more about it. Along the way, every 30 minutes the music box activates, having people have to make more will saves. I made it stay the same. You can make it increase or decrease if you wish. Duration usually stays the same. You go on, get into the house, and then once in the house, you can go to the study and they start researching more about it. And apparently this noble's ancestor, great-great-great-grandfather, was a red wizard who had a drow slave. They made a whole set of these boxes as ways to try to control demons and devils and the like, to try to get their own little army. Of course, it backfired, and the only way to keep this box off is supposedly to take it to the tomb of the great-great-grandfather and lay it on top of his tomb, and then his presence will bind the music box there. Now, after you figure this out, the player should then instantly go to the family tomb. If not, have the noble suggested or somebody suggested. And you go back down, and then outside there's a massive cult. I used like 5 or 6 level 1 wizards and like 1 level 3 wizard using spells from the Book of Vile Darkness, but if you don't have that, you can use just any necromancy type dark spells that demon worshipping cult would use. They fight through them. Still, every 30 minutes the demon box activates. It's about a 30-minute walk from the town to the mansion, so there should be at least one encounter there. Alright, after they eventually get to the tomb, they go in, try to devise a couple of puzzles, maybe side rooms for just random stuff, maybe some loot in there if your players are into robbing the dead. My players were paladins, so they didn't necessarily go grave robbing on everybody. But yeah, after you do that, give them a couple of rooms until they get to the main room, where the main boss demon will be laying in wait because he knows they're going there with the box. He wants to get the box so that he can control more demons and become more powerful. And this is where the final fight goes on. They battle the demon, hopefully defeat him. If they don't defeat him, then you can use him as a recurring villain, having bolstered demonic hordes with him, being able to activate the box at will. Alright, if they do defeat him, they place the box on top of the tomb. It causes a small earthquake, and the river starts to flood in, and they have to run out, and then as they leave, they see the tomb caves in and gets flooded and stuff, and that's the end of the adventure. And what I did with my players is I kind of did like a little cutscene type things, like, okay, you guys are going back, and then meanwhile in the crypt you see water flooding in, and the water raises to the top, and the music box opened, and I had 2 wargs running around a little girl standing in the middle of them with her head held down for my music box design. And once the music box started playing again, and then at the end of it, the little girl's head shot up with 2 black eyes. They weren't like gems or anything. They were like really more like an essence of darkness in her eyes. They looked kind of like onyxes, but they were really just darkness, the essence of darkness. And then you just go back to your players. Like maybe the music box mystery could continue later on, and a higher level adventure with higher level demons and whatnot. For the scenario that the noble gets killed, then your players, you have to try to find some way to get them to check out his mansion and find out all his history on their own, and it pretty much goes the same from there. If somehow this demon gets a hold of the music box, then he's going to use it to get a bunch of dretches and stuff like that to serve him, and other low level demons and devils, and then that can be a whole new adventure in itself. And after that, you can just take it wherever you want. This adventure should carry him from first to at least third, maybe fourth level. I would recommend at least 3 people. 2 can do it because that's what I did it with, but I don't know how effective it would be for 1 person. 5 people should do it without too much of a challenge. But yeah, and that's my first adventure. And I will leave the link to the music I use for the music box below. Everybody really seemed to love that song, and you guys might like it too. This is Dungeon Master Bloba, signing off.